Hey yo, football fans, it's another great year. Fantasy football fiends, grab your beer. Giving you the best draft tips for all your picks. Starts and sits to the waiver wire fix. From my drafts galore to stats that's hardcore. Triple F does it all, have y'all screaming more. So sit back, relax, let the experts prevail. JT Magnum, Siggy guns never fail.
What's up, everybody? I'm JT Magnum, and welcome to Fantasy Football Fiends Ranking Special. This episode is going to be the running backs, our top 25 for Fantasy Football Fiends for the 2014 Fantasy Football season. And let's get right underway. From number 1 to number 5, we got number 1, LeSean McCoy. Number 2, Adrian Peterson. Number 3, Jamal Charles. Number 4, Eddie Lacy. And number 5, Matt Forte. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about Eddie Lacy. You're probably wondering, how the heck did he get into the top 5? Well, I put him there. I think he's going to have a breakout season. He ran for 1,100 yards and 11 touchdowns in his rookie season. Now, I know Aaron Rodgers wasn't there for most of the season. He was hurt. But we all know that the Packers do like to run the ball. They do like to run the ball in goal line situations. They have a lot of goal line situations, and Eddie Lacy's a very big back for that. And on top of that, they love to run play action. So how do you run play action? You run the ball a lot. And I think the Packers are going to run the ball a lot more this year than they did last year. And I think Eddie Lacy is going to be the beneficiary of that. I predict him to have at least 1,400 to 1,600 yards and maybe about 12 touchdowns this year. So I'm expecting a breakout year for him this year. Rounding out the top 10, I have number 6, Marshawn Lynch. Number 7, DeMarco Murray. Number 8, Doug Martin. Number 9, C.J. Spiller. And number 10, Le'Veon Bell from Pittsburgh. Now, I want to talk a little bit about C.J. Spiller. He ran for over 900 yards. He had a couple touchdowns. He's not really the goal line back. I mean, they have Anthony Dixon. They have Fred Jackson. They have Bryce Brown. But C.J. Spiller is just that explosive back. He's the kind of guy that can get you just these long runs for touchdowns. So, and barring any injury, because he has had some injury concerns, he's always capable of reaching that 1,000 mark or reaching over 1,000 yards. So I predict him to have a little bit more touchdowns this year, probably over 1,000 yards, a lot more yards catching, and a lot more touchdowns receiving and running. So look for him to have a more of an explosive year this year in fantasy football. Now going from 11 through 15, I have Zach Stacy at number 11, Alfred Morris at number 12, 13 Frank Gore, 14 Arian Foster, and 15 Reggie Bush. I'll talk about a little bit about Frank Gore. Ageless wonder. The guy's 31 years old, still had over 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns. Doesn't seem to be slowing down at all. So Carlos Hyde is on that team. They have a stable of running backs this year to spell him, so he might actually be a little bit more healthier now that they have people to put him in, so he might actually have more yards later in games and things like that, being that he can actually get some rest instead of playing every down, because he seems like he's playing a lot more downs, getting a lot of carries, but lesser carries, more opportunistic carries maybe in the goal line, and Frank Gore might actually still have around the same yardage and around the same touchdowns this year. So look for him to still have, you know, the normal year of a Frank Gore year for the 49ers. It's going through 16 through 20, Monte Ball at 16, 17 Ryan Matthews, 18 Ben Tate, number 19 Chris Johnson, 20 Andre Ellington. Let's talk about Ben Tate. This is a guy that was, remember, he was supposed to be the starter for Houston Texans when he got injured, and Arian Foster took over, and the rest is history. Arian Foster had 3 pretty good years for the Texans, and Ben Tate was just forced to look. Now he has his chance. He's in Cleveland. He still ran for over 700 yards last year and 4 touchdowns. I'm looking for him to get over 1,000 yards, probably about 7 or 8 touchdowns, and him to have his best season, obviously, as a pro. So we'll see what happens with Ben Tate. Now, rounding out the top 25, we got 21, Trent Richardson, 22, Steven Jackson, 23, Giovanni Bernard, 24, Ray Rice, and 25, Toby Gerhart from Jacksonville. Now, Steven Jackson, he ran for over 500 yards, 6 touchdowns actually, in a very short campaign for the Atlanta Falcons. He didn't really play as much as he would like. He was injured most of the year. But he's back. He's healthy. He's another one, just like Frank Gore. He seems to be built to be able to still run and still handle the workload. And I look for him to have a breakout year. I think Atlanta's going to run the ball a lot more now that Julio Jones was injured last year, and they obviously can't be passing the ball as much as they were like last year and the year before. So I look for Steven Jackson to get a lot of carries, especially goal line carries. Now that Tony Gonzalez is gone as well, he was another end zone threat. So Steven Jackson to get a lot of carries, a lot of catching. He does a lot of screen passes, a lot of catches. And I look for Steven Jackson to get over 1,000 yards rushing as well, maybe 6 or 7, 8 touchdowns. So we'll see what happens there. But that runs out the top 25. If you have any comments or questions or anything, please feel free, as always, to leave them in the comment section, or feel free to tweet us at Optimus Magnum or at Siggy V. And that's it. Stay tuned for the next one. It's going to be the wide receivers. After that, the tight ends. Then the defense and kickers. Well, just defenses. We don't really do kickers here at Fantasy Football Fiends. So for Fantasy Football Fiends, JT Magnum, I'm out. Peace.